Hey, good morning, everybody. Woo! Another Slee Stack episode. I heard Slee Stacks wanted, everybody was calling for the Slee Stacks to come back in. So
Morning,
what's up,
chameleons.
dude?
What exactly is a slee stack?
Oh, man. How did
They were they were
yesterday go
they
on the
they,
trading floor, dude?
they lived with the dinosaurs. Is that what a slee stack is?
Back when the humans were living with the dinosaurs.
Isn't that what it said? It was after Adam and Eve came the dinosaurs.
After Adam and Eve, and it all happened within the last 2,000 years, man. Those bones are all fake in the ground. Slee Stacks. I don't know how we
Yes.
got on that kick. Somebody wrote into Will and said they wanted to see more Slee Stacks.
Love you, chameleons.
We love the
you.
chameleons, man. Love them. There are some out there. There are some.
Yep.
Dude, people love the data, dude. That's the thing, man. They hate us. They love the data, dude. Data is amazing. Before we get
don't
into
like
it,
the chit chat.
guys, disclaimer alert. Everybody be careful out there. We are
That's
just
how I
giving you
feel about the disclaimer.
giving you some ideas. Giving you some ideas. We are definitely not telling you what to do, telling you what to trade. God knows we've lost enough money ourselves. We don't know what we're doing. We just got some ideas for you. So what do you got today, brother?
It has been helpful in me making a living, I must say. I'll leave it at that. Leave it at that. And
Well, good
building
for
the
you,
community.
brother.
Yes.
Have you
Yes.
put in your indoor pool yet? We're still waiting on that one, right?
Do you know what an indoor pool can do to the structure of your residence? all that humidity.
Dude, I'm just telling. As we were around Halloween, as Will pulls up his screen, I was just saying the best trick or treating we had. This dude, everybody probably knows Stu Leonard. Who anybody in business knows Stu Leonard. Stu Leonard lived near us, had an amazing house, and on Halloween he would give out full-size Snicker bars for Halloween. So his house was just a madhouse of kids because every kid from miles around came to his house, and he would give us kids the tour of his house. He had an indoor pool and then a glass wall which went into his outdoor pool, and I was like, there we go, man. That is what I want, dude. So, Will,
Who would
how am
have
I going to get
known?
their trading options, man?
Who would have known? You wondered the guy ran a deli, milk market, eggs. How's this going on? Soon we found out that he was not paying the tax man. Had all his
Oh, come on,
register.
dude. Allegedly, dude. Allegedly. Look, we know the way Uncle Sam
Well,
could come down on you if you
he
get on the
was he
wrong
was
side.
found going to was it the Bahamas with a
Caymans,
suitcase
my
of a
friend.
million dollars? I don't
The
know.
Caymans. That was back in the 80s. You used to be able to do that stuff. Was that illegal in the 80s? I think you could pretty much do that in the 80s. Dude, you bringing up the
Yeah.
screen or what, man? Are we going to get some options data today or what?
Wait, I thought I shared the screen.
You don't have a shared screen. I'm looking at myself, man.
That's a good look.
Will's in Slee Stack mode today.
Love the hat. All right, you see it now?
It's cold down here. No, I see your face,
See it.
dude. I see
All
your
right.
face. I'm in the split
That's-
screen now
that's-
because now we got your face. Look at Will looking confused. I
That's a-
tell him,
that's
dude, you got to get your tech right, man. You got to get
Pretty
your
good look. Pretty good look.
tech right.
All right, I'm sharing the screen for it.
There
Second
we
time.
go, man.
I still
There
see
we
your
go.
face. Why is that? Why is that?
Personally, I love Stu Leonard. I'm sure he's long passed on now, but what a
Rest
great
in peace.
business that dude ran. Yeah, I still
No,
have
it's-
fond memories of going there. They had a little zoo at the grocery store. Amazing.
Yeah, he was so early in the retail, how you structured a business on
Yeah.
a retail level. I mean, he was getting his customers engaged. The amount of time spent at that supermarket.
Amazing. First
was
one to
selling
use electronic scanners back in the day. I mean, just all that sort of stuff. Amazing
Yeah,
person.
he channeled his customers as they came in. They had to see every shelf in the store. I still,
Yep, that was right. You had to do the loop. You went around the house.
The loop. He was the first one selling prepared foods, warm cookies. I mean,
Amazing.
and by the way, his son is taking it to the next level.
Oh, really?
Added wine bars, wine, beer. I mean,
Are we plugging Stu Leonard's? Love Stu Leonard's, man. If you're ever in Connecticut, I say that's probably the only thing they missed out on is they didn't really do the whole Whole Foods, explode. They just didn't go nationwide. That's maybe the only mistake.
Well,
they did.
I think they're like 6 or 7 of them now.
Yeah.
I still think they're the largest seller out of those units of Purdue chickens. I than any combined place in the world.
Yep.
So the very interesting story if you don't know anything about Stu Leonard's and the market itself. On that note, from a candy perspective, around Halloween, I don't know if this Hershey play, this wasn't in my thought process other than you brought it up. You have neighborhoods now competing to see who gives the biggest candy bars. Every house.
Really?
Yeah, you'll go to they're like, we have to go to the Balmar neighborhood because they all give full-size candy bars. and the fourth house in on the right, they let you take unlimited.
Sin limite. I love that, dude.
Unlimited.
That was the bet. You would pull up to Stu Leonard's. He had a giant wine casket full with food, like a wine, barrel full of food, full of candy, man. That was the thing. And kids would just literally, you would walk in, you'd walk back to the end of the driveway, and then you'd come back.
And I don't
double, triple dipping, man.
Sometimes for the first, 100, 200 visitors, candy apples.
That's right. Oh my God, that's cool. Right, dude.
Pretty cool. All right. So
good times.
Wanted everyone to be aware. We spoke about it yesterday, but I was clicking through this morning, and these movements today. I looked at 3 of them, and I'm not even sure what this company does, but it moved down 23% after hours. You click on that, it looks like they had earnings, and I just want everyone should use this with their earnings calendar and with their stocks they're watching. Keep an eye, if you don't catch the post real time, look at the post day, see if anything was posted. This showed during the day yesterday that there was unusual put activity, right around 12. I mean, this came out at like 1:15. So it was, a real nice alert to what was going on in that stock if you had a position in it, or if you were watching the earnings calendar and wanted to put a position on. The CVNA, large upside move after significant call activity. Again, in the posts, there was they alerted to earnings. If you were watching these posts, they also alerted to you, showed you what was going on. The previous earnings gave you alert that earnings was coming up yesterday. Yep. And they also showed unusual call activity back on 10:15, letting you know it was an earnings position. There was nothing yesterday, but if you went back, you would see, on 10:15, there were all these calls trading, in an earnings month.
Yeah.
On the 11th also. So, and there were 4 of these this morning. I won't bore you with each one, but each of them in the post, CVNA, MNST, they all
the chameleon
showed up
was letting you know, hey, unusual activity.
It's something that I want everyone who's using this product to be aware that reports are constantly being driven by this little green creature that's running on a treadmill and spitting out ideas.
The key is steroids and not a lot of food. Keep them hungry, man. Keep them hungry.
Yeah, and a very little robotic driven. I mean, this is the greatest technology we have. We've created this little flea bug type creature that just gets in front of the chameleon. So it really moves this chameleon constantly. I mean, the technology.
Dude, one day we'll have to post a video just showing that little chameleon and running on that treadmill, man. God bless his heart.
One day we will give chameleon swag to everyone. Once we get our first customer in there. But anyways, those are things to really take a look at and take advantage of. The other thing I was thinking about this morning, which is on a super sad note, but it's something as a trader you should always be aware of. I mean, we talked a whole episode about a Boeing when a plane went down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Overnight, there was a terrible mass shooting. I mean, I don't know when people are going to get sick of it. I'm personally very leery of taking away guns and not selling guns, but the it's a vote right at the end of the day, even if it's a constitutional amendment. So just be aware of these gun stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Don't they usually pop though after one of these? Because then people feel like there's going to be more legislation.
no.
So
They do tend to pop when the President Obama was the president.
Yep.
There was a lot of concern that after each one of these shootings that people would come in and there'd be heavy regulation.
Right.
Listen, I don't know if anyone realizes this, but the president, he is he could change his sales could turn on a dime.
Sure.
If something goes on.
Yep.
And if he had the right person whisper in his ear and he thought it could really help his next election, he could put a stop to the way guns and the ease of which they're purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to keep your eye on.
Got to keep your head on a swivel, is what you're saying. Be careful. Be careful with those. Yep.
See if it has any effect. I looked at first putting on a bearish play where I'd be open to the complete downside move. And this stock, by the way, RGR,
mm-hmm.
has had a nice size. It's off its high, but it's like a 20 PE. It's priced to a pretty good performance, even though it's low here. It's been 34. It's high, 76 recently, but it could have some downside. But this is your biggest publicly traded gun play,
right?
And it is I think a pistol. Again, this is Will McBride. I'm not Wikipedia, so you investigate it further. But I looked at it from trying to take in a credit to have downside exposure, like I was short the stock. So I'm naked to put. Are
you trying to get a really far out expiration date there, or what are you trying to get there?
I went out to January 19. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one way I looked at it, and I'm going to actually add that to my watch list. And then I looked at bear call and bear put spreads as well, just to see if there was anything there. And there was, but I was playing around with Tesla too. So let me go back, re-add those in. And I'll tell you why I was looking at Tesla as well.
Love Tesla.
So anytime something happens in the marketplace, just be aware of what could be affected. And another thing I thought about, and it's sad to think about, but how nothing bad has happened inside a mall is
Wait, don't give ideas, man.
I'm not giving ideas, but just be aware. Build a store. I mean, it's the marketplace is about building a thesis in your head, right? And trying to understand when something happens. So I didn't look at it, but I would go to my the dividends, go to the REIT report,
mm-hmm.
and search the subcategories, and these are all shopping center REITs.
Right, I see what you're saying.
It's a terrible thing to think about, but these are the type of things when something like this happens, you're like, well, where's, what's the effect when the news media is talking about it 24/7? I mean, this has happened to happen in a bar, but and I won't delve on this any longer because it's troubling and sad.
But you want to look at it from you can gather your thesis together, and possibly make trades based on that,
And you may have a position.
Mm-hmm.
I have some REITs. If it's a shopping, that shopping center is going to be hurt could be hurt for a while. It could affect an entire. I mean, on a retail standpoint, right?
Yep.
Something happens at Thanksgiving. I mean, most retailers start making their money after Thanksgiving. I mean, what's that going to do to your, Kohl's, your wall, all those things you got to take into consideration in the marketplace, because it could affect your 401k. Could affect a lot of things. So,
boy, it's a lot to think about, my man. A lot to think about there.
Something to be aware
of. No wonder most traders have no hair at all, man. No wonder.
It is a hairless Maybe there wasn't any. It is a hairless trade. I found myself when I was on the floor of the American Stock Exchange trading options in my 20s and 30s. I would constantly rub my hair, and soon I was just rubbing skin.
Rubbing scalp, man.
Yeah. Another thing that I saw yesterday on LinkedIn that I wanted to report back to the community because it really made me think, and I wanted to show you the video. And I've seen it before, but it's worth re-looking at.
Is this the What's the Internet video? Yes, I love this video.
Oh, with no sound. What's going on? Oh, that's a terrible problem.
What were you going to show us there, dude? What were you saying, Brian Gumbel? Where it's like, apparently, what is this? Apparently, you can go to websites. So what did that have to do with your trading thesis?
This was 1994, and it was LinkedIn last night. They were given this. Someone was talking about it. He's like, what is this at NBC.com?
GE.
You know, it's a funny thought process that made me think about the whole cryptocurrency space.
Okay.
And I'm not. I mean, anyone who's listened to us rant and chit chat previously, you gave me a very early look into, and I think you referred to it as the bot coin, but I'm not 100%. When it was like, I don't know, it may have been cents.
Yeah.
I for a funny thought, I think I bought it for a penny and sold it for 4 pennies. Something like that. I'm
traded it for a pizza, man.
It was the thought process of trying to put it somewhere on my hard drive was just too much to think. Once you told me that, I was out.
Yep.
And but this, it's found. They still show it every day on the news. It's somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 a Bitcoin now.
It's
the
stayed
main
pretty
currency,
stable for
a lot
the last
of
those, 6 months or so.
Yeah, a lot of those other products have just gone to zero. But it's something to be aware of. This is the space is new. A lot of fun was made of it, and I think the biggest play in the publicly traded space is this overstock. I looked at overstock again. I went out to January. I'm using the strategy payout. I wanted to take in a credit, and so I did that by shorting the 25 delta put, and I bought the 25 delta call. Gives me a credit of 323 for, and I'm willing to own this stock. I'd be owning it at about $14, $15 short in the put. For someone who doesn't want to have that downside to zero, they could add a long put in there, still taking a credit. So just something to look at. I'm going to add that to my watch list.
Now, what Overstock, isn't that it's like a website, right?
It's internet retail. It's an internet retailer. A lot of home goods. It's an internet retailer run by a real aggressive Utah-based businessman.
But how does that play in the crypto space?
They have, basically he's gone all in with his company's balance sheet into the crypto space.
Really?
Stock. Look, blockchain subsidiary, tokens.
He's just. Oh wow! Okay.
They've been all in, and
he's using that company. He's transforming that company from an internet retailer into basically a crypto company.
This was the high that basically when Bitcoin was around 18,000 a share. So
interesting.
It's an interesting public.
That's interesting play because I haven't even heard of that one as far as an internet play. Of course, there's they have the ETF for crypto. But that's interesting. But whether or not that you're going to be able to make money on the crypto, or if you're getting into the space where companies that provide that service, obviously like IBM,
they're going to be IBM's another one you could play. But
but they're doing not so much, not true blockchain, right? It's blockchain, but it's not in the spirit of it where it's they're actually owning the chain. Which is not the way it's necessarily, not the ideal vision. But it's interesting. That's a good choice there, man. I haven't heard of that one before.
Yeah, it's something to look at, and the guy's super passionate about it. So I just think, I mean, it's kind of like, not to get back to the cannabis, but the cannabis had a big move when Jeff Sessions got canned by El Presidente yesterday.
Yep.
And this has been the biggest mover in the space, and I think Overstock's a lot like this. In that space is a lot like Tilray is in the cannabis. So something to be aware of when you're looking for places to play. I did do a quick screen of the bull puts and where you can take in a credit.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing appeared with the bull calls, but there were some put spreads that had some nice cushion and a good return just over the next few days. So if you are bullish at all in this stock, it's another way to play. So there you go. That's actually, and I guess the Tesla, I don't want to leave out Tesla.
Yeah, what were you saying about Tesla, man?
Well, I mean, we talked about when the stock was, nearing 200, we talked about getting long this thing. It just, the first piece of news has come out with the management shuffle and getting the new chairman in. And I mean, he picked such a crony. It just, I mean,
dude, I am so in on Elon Musk. He might be my favorite human, man, right now.
Listen, I love the whiskey and weed myself, guns, whiskey, and weed. I'm in on everything. I'm just giving you things to think about. It's option order flow is increasingly bullish, which is again leads against what I'm telling you.
Such a crony.
But
you know he should pick me, dude. I should run that company. I'll just be a pure puppet. What do you say, Elon? Yeah, okay.
Supposedly she has a lot of experience in the car business, though she's right now attached to a telecom company in Australia. But she's been on the board as an independent director since the start. So
okay, all right.
I don't know. It's interesting to watch Tesla. For me, with the position I had, I would be willing to take it off now after a 7,000% gain.
Yeah.
In that.
You would be willing? You're so you would be willing to take a 7,000% gain, dude?
Yeah,
nicely done.
That was
finally got enough money for that indoor pool, man. Finally.
It was in the watch list. I think as long as it hasn't been trashed out, but we showed that risk reversal, right, where you were buying the 25 delta call, and I think the stock, let's say, was around 200, so it was like selling the 100 puts, buying the 300 calls, and you were taking in like $10 or something because the puts were so priced so high for the risk. So yeah, there's the Tesla custom spread we put in. It was a 7,000. And then that's yep.
Oh, man, I hope
you could be a college education, a retirement account. Unfortunately, you can't trade options in your retirement.
And unfortunately, everybody pay attention, man. Just pay attention, right? You think, oh man, that's so easy to pick a winner. Look right above it, man. Look right above it. Negative 1,200%. So this is what we're talking about, everybody. Be careful out there, man. It's hard to make money, man.
Be explosive, yeah. And looking back, you wish you put everything in the one trade.
Yep.
But you can't trade that way. You have to trade small. Look for build your thesis, and when it's screaming at your head at 2 a.m, you better put it on the next day. You've got to consistently build the stories and look for the opportunities. Is there some edge in this Tesla trade that I want to get short for the next, is there some edge? Is there some, cushion in the spreads? Use the spreads. A lot of the times the spreads are a nice place to go. As you see, this was the overstock. There was nothing available in the bull call spread. So anyways, there you go. There's some ideas for today.
Awesome.
Some things to think about.
Awesome. Everybody remember, you can click. I put some links down below. If you want to access the data that we are using, that Will's walking us through on MarketChameleon.com. If you have any questions, of course, just hit us up, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Later.
Thanks for joining. Bye.